I was gonna say, how long has it been? Well, you've been busy too. I mean, you're a regular. Well, is Hollywood the word?
Oh, it was a one-off thing I was very lucky to get. I've been trying to capitalize on it and get a dialect coaching agent, but it hasn't been successful so far. But it was a very nice, I'm very happy to have been asked to do such a thing. I just hope it's not too hasn't come out too bad. Um, but it's
No.
weird. Have you did you y- There was that obviously you've done like stuff like Frozen and stuff like that, but there was that Grimfrost like short film thing. Did
Hmm.
you coach the actors in that, or was it more of just a
I didn't directly
consultant?
coach anybody. I translated the dialogue.
Hmm.
Basically, well, I I made the dialogue 1,000 years older. I turned it from modern Swedish to Old Swedish. Um, and I just told them to. I said I made kind of like a basic pronunciation video for them, and I said, actually, I think that you should use your own native dialect's intonation. Because I
Mm,
said, like, your intonation is actually probably better than mine. So sort of like use your instincts on that, but like just to give you a sense of what the consonants sound like and stuff.
hmm.
The the most direct coaching I ever did was for the show nobody saw, this TV series American Gods based on the Neil Gaiman book. I
Yeah.
did coach some of those actors, like actually like get on Skype and like talk them through it, which was cool because I got to meet Ian McShane that way.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
that's very cool.
those things are fun to do, but the opportunities is, they're once in a blue moon. Doesn't happen all that much.
Yeah, I think I always think like because I've heard Robert Eggers is doing this, trying to do a film in Middle English, so we'll see how that turns out.
I think I heard
Um,
about that.
but it's it's what's the word? Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe um there might be some zeitgeist. Part of my brain is hoping there might be some zeitgeist around historically accurate kind of dialogue and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Um, but we'll
Also,
see, I guess.
I mean, when you said Middle English, like one of the things my mind instantly leaps to is like which Middle English? Because I mean, you look at
Yeah,
some of that stuff and it looks like this, and you look at some of that stuff and it's like, it looks like Shakespeare almost, right? I mean,
yeah,
it seems like to me between, I don't know, it's almost like somewhere in the 1200s it becomes a different language. Like the Lapel Middle English is almost applied too early
mm,
from some of what I've seen. I don't know.
yeah. I feel that that feels true. And then there's so much dialectal diversity as well,
Yeah.
which I'm I was hoping to do a big video on it, but I've just realized looking into it how much of it there is.
I
Um,
know. Story of my life. I
mhm,
I've been working on. I don't think he's here, but I asked Patreon for topic suggestions like 6 months ago, and one of the questions was, so other than Grimm's Law and Werner's Law, what distinguishes Proto-Indo-European from Proto-Germanic? And
mhm.
like I spent like 6 months putting together
Yeah.
like all the stuff that goes into that. Um, but it's also produced a lot of offshoot things. So I
Mhm.
always try to kill multiple birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Well, it's been like 3 years since we did one of these Beowulf readings.
I'm deeply sorry for not being more proactive. I have a personality flaw around that stuff, which I'm still grappling with.
A personality flaw. You could
Well, I don't know.
you will never add up to the number of personality flaws that I bring to this. Um,
Oh, I'm sure that's not true.
but I was just
But
thinking, like when you looked at it again after about 3 years since we were doing this. How did you feel? What did you think of the Old English, right? Did you remember the story? Did did you get back into the groove with it? I mean,
I
how was
think
it looking at it?
I think one big difference is grammar is something I famously had issues with, and I think there have been plenty of cases in the um, videos where I've you've had to be like, oh, I think that's a dative and stuff like that. And I feel like I have a slightly better grasp of that, mainly because Colin Gorey, with his Oswald Bear,
Hmm.
Oswald Bella book, I that was I did a bit of uh, sort of voice acting, I suppose, for the audiobook version, and I think that forced me to seriously read. Obviously, I'd sort of gone through it and stuff and used it as a dipping in kind of, I'll skip to this chapter and see how, where do I start to have problems.
Hmm.
But doing the voice acting thing made me actually go through and systematically read it, and that even just that's helped so much. Because
Yeah.
obviously I had the priming of some sort of explicit knowledge of what the case endings are and stuff, but with loads of holes in. Um, so I feel that that's helped it feel more obvious and more
Yeah.
implicit. Um, so I didn't find that I jumped into it and it was like, oh my God, this is all my skills have deteriorated completely, which was a relief. Um, but what about you? How I guess your skills are more deeply deeply ingrained and robust than mine.
Well, all my skills though are focused elsewhere, right? So like actually my feelings looking at this again kind of dovetail with yours because I'm reading through this and I'm thinking, you know, I, I like some consonants in my endings, you know?
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
say what you will, and people do say plenty of things about Old Norse and Gothic and how they're harder than West Germanic languages or whatever, maybe, but at least the endings are like consistent and clearly distinct from other endings. Like, you're
Mm,
looking at Old English, it's like, oh, great, another, schwa, probably. What does this mean?
yeah.
So that's kind of frustrating. Um,
Mm,
but I don't know. I got back into the groove. It took me like it was getting back on a bike after a while, right? Like, okay, yeah.
mhm,
Um, I did think sometimes the poet surprised me with, you know, curious vocabulary that I didn't remember. Um, and I'm not sure if that's just something that we're getting into in our section or if there's just stuff that I didn't remember because it's been so long since the last time that we did this. Um, but yeah, I thought there was a lot here, and we're getting back into it during a very exciting section.
mhm.
So, um, do you want to give us a previously on Beowulf?
I can, yeah. So we're just after Grendel's mother, aren't we?
Just after she's attacked and she
Attacked
killed
them.
Ashera, right?
Yeah, so we have this great celebrated kind of mead hall called Heorot, um, which has been sort of made unusable by the attacks of this monster called Grendel, who has been coming in, and it seems that he's kind of annoyed by or enraged by the fun that seems to be going on in there. And he comes and just sort of ransacks the place and eats people. And I think it's like, is it 12 years or something? He's been doing this,
I
10
remember.
years, 12 years. Um, so he's been doing this for years, and the men have just been living in fear and not being able to celebrate or enjoy themselves at all. Um, and then this character called Beowulf, who is from um, a different part of Scandinavia, comes over. I think there's some sort of family history whereby he is it some ancestor of his, like his father or something, had some good relationship um with the Scyldings or something, but for some reason he wants to help um sort out their problems. So he brings a band of men with him, um, and he kills the monster. Um, and I'm trying to think if I probably missed some significant characters, but
I think that's solid. But he has
and
killed
then yeah.
Grendel, and then Grendel's mother, who they didn't know about, comes and attacks the hall one night, and she kills Ashheta. And where we're picking up in fit section 20, uh, they are mourning the fallen Ashera, and Beowulf in the next few fits is going to swear to Hrothgar that he's going to go and avenge Ashera. Is going to go and actually go into the lair of Grendel's mother and fight her. And that's pretty
Mhm.
much what we've got here. This is like we didn't plan it this way, but these four fits actually are a fairly self-contained story, which is nice.
That's true. Yeah.
What edition have you been reading this time?
Um, I've got the Slade version open and the Harrison and Sharp version.
Okay.
Um, I think I copied it. Basically, I I probably didn't need to do this, but to do my notes, I rewrote the Slade version with normal diacritics because it
Whoa.
has weird diacritics.
Okay.
Only the bits that I was doing,
Well, that's a great
which was
idea.
um, but it's also um, probably I could have just used the Harrison and Sharp version. Oh yeah, it has diacritics. I probably could have done that. Um, but yeah, so I'm not sure they don't seem to be that different from each other. Which version are you using?
Clever.
Hmm.
Um, so I was just thinking, what should I do with this? And I thought maybe I made you a co-host. I thought maybe if we both read sort of bit by bit. All right, here, I'll just give you an example of what I'm talking about. I just pulled up Harrison and Sharp here, although I'm reading um, from Claver. Basically, I might read about what's on the screen in Old English, pause, go over it in English. That way, all of our commentary people can see exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'll let you, switch over to you and you share screen when you're reading.
Hmm.
Does that work?
Um, I think it should do.
Okay. Um, and for those who haven't ever joined us for one of these before, uh, questions, remarks, welcome in the chat. We pronounce Old English a little bit differently because you come from a sort of later school of Old English pronunciation. I come from not only an older school, but I pronounce Old English with a American Old Norse accent. Um, so uh, sounds slightly different, but all right. Well, I'm going to read this part in Old English and then I'll give you my version of it. And Simon, of course, your feedback thereon is very welcome. Hrothgar madalode helmskildinga a nefrin thu after salum, soch is janiwa denea leodum, dead is ashera, min laves ildra brodor, min runwita ond min radbora, exel justela thon away on orlea havelan werdon, thon hnitton fedan, eovras knisseran, swilch skjolde erol wesson etheling ergod swilch esh herawas. Werth him on herote to handbanan while jest wavre, itchna wat whether atol essa wlank eftsy das tech. Fylle je freknad, heo tha fechte rek, the thu justran nicht, Grendel quail des thur hesna had, her dum clamum. Forthan hei to longa leo da mina wanoda on the weird. Hei et wia je krang ealdra skyldi on nu åter quom michti manshada wolde hyra mig rekan. Je feor havat fachthe je stelled. Theste thinche an me theine moneum. Say the after sinchevan on seven greoteth. Red der beolo herde. Nu se han leeth. Se the eo wel hultra will na dochte. All right. Hrothgar, Lord of the Shielding, spoke. Do not ask about joys. Sorrow is renewed for the Danish people. Ashera is dead, the older brother of Irminlov. My, I take this really as sort of two words for counselor, rune witta and rad bora. My rune knower and my reed, my advice bearer,
Hmm.
counselor and counselor effectively. But there's a lot of that. Uh,
Like synonyms being
yeah,
put against each other.
very characteristic of this poet. I feel like I'm remembering. And of a lot of Norse poets. My shoulder companion, my dear companion, when we in battle defended heads, I assume defended our heads, when troops clashed. This word for clash, by the way, Hanita, appears on the Rook runestone in
Mm.
Sweden. It's in big letters. It just says clash,
Hmm.
which is kind of cool. I was remembering
Yeah.
that. Sort of vestigial in Old Norse poetry. I don't know how common it is in Old English.
I'm not sure.
Uh, yeah, it didn't strike like I only remember it because it's so noticeable
Right, yeah.
on Rook. The warrior struck. So should a man be a good old Aragode, right? Like a good old atheling, a good old nobleman, uh, such as Ashera was, a slaughter ghost, a slaughter being, an evil being, a wandering evil being, became his killer and Herod. I don't know whither that horrible, proud creature took paths back full of his carrion and emboldened. If Phila goes with Asa,
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out.
full of carrion is how I was taking that.
That's
So
what I
this
said.
edition says Euphragnod, which I guess would be like learned of. This edition says Euphreknode, like emboldened, which I like a little better there. It looks
Mhm.
like the manuscript says Fragnod, a little bit closer to what's in that edition. She avenged that hostile act, facht, a word this poet likes a lot, when you killed Grendel yesterday night, yesternight, yesternicht, kind of a cool phrase,
Mhm.
by violent means, Hasnahad, with hard, like, grips hands, before he, oh, because he, for too long, diminished and injured my people. He sort of crumbled, fell, was defeated. It's cringe,
Grunge.
right? Grendel's
Sounds like
cringe.
grunge. He crunge.
He cringed, yeah.
But
He
yeah.
he cringed at battle. He was defeated at battle. Um, uh, Guilty to forfeit his life. Shieldly Ealdris. And now another came, a mighty man hurt her. She wanted to avenge her son or kinsman. And then one really interesting word here is this yea, because of course at first I thought ye, you, but that's and. That's one of the few um there's not a lot, but there's a few attestations of this really old word for and in Old English, and that's one that's, it's Gothic yah,
Mm,
right? Which
mm,
gets barred into Finnish as yah and. So I thought that was kind of cool.
yeah.
And she has avenged far away, I guess, Feor, that violent deed, not evil deed, violent deed. Thus, or as it may seem to many a man who after who weeps bemourns that treasure giver Ashera in his mind, that hard bale for the heart, Heather Balo. Now that hand lies, I guess the generous hand of Ashera lies, doesn't do anything else, it's just lying.
Mhm.
Uh, I think, which did good, dochte, of well every kind of desire, well huitra wilna to you, Ao. So that hand of Asherah that was so generous to everybody now lies, useless lies, doing nothing. Anything you take issue with or would comment on?
Um, no, I don't think so. I'm realizing because I prepped for mine. I'm now just trying to come up with like input here, but it's yeah, doing it on the fly is um
Well, I'm doing it on the fly as far as putting it together into sentences. I looked up
um,
some words before, but this is fairly on the fly.
mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna go to what's the stopping point on this one? That's okay. All right, I'll just through what's on screen there. All right. Ich that landbúin leodamine selaredende sejan hude that hia jasáwan swilche twain michla mearkstapan moras heldan illorgastas. Thera óður wast stasta hia ja wislikos ja wittan mechtan idese on lignas. Óður earmshapen on werst westmum raklastas trad. Nefna hewas marra thona ane man óður. Thona on year dagum Grendel nemdon foldbuende no he feder kunnon whether him ane was a kenned dynra gasta. He digelond warieath wolfleothu windia nassas frekna fenjalad. Þar fyrin stream under nassa ja nippu nither ja witteth flowed under foldan. Nis that fair heonan milja merkes that samera standeth. Over them hongiath hrinda berwas, woodu wirtum fast water over helmath. There may nichte ja quam nid under seon, fyr on flode. No thess frod leovath gumana berana that thona grund witte. Theich the held stappa hundum je swenched, herot hornum trum holt wodu seche. Ferran je flumed he fer sellet. Uh, I heard tell that the dwellers of my land, my people, happy advising Sela Radenda, that
Is could I was gonna say could Sella be Hall?
hall advising hall dwelling. Where's the glossary
Um,
said?
I feel yeah, I feel like Rad and the if yeah, maybe something like gladly advising or something makes more sense rather than like Hall advising.
This says accusative plural, hall counselors, hall rulers.
Mm,
Seems like a slightly odd thing for him to be calling more than one
yeah.
person, but that they saw two such great border steppers hold the moors, inhabit the moors, And then this kind of cool compound, the elsewhere ghosts, the Elor
Mhm.
Gastos, the beings from elsewhere. It's like it's Old English for alien. One
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
It's a cool word, and they uses it a few times. One of them was as they might ascertain as wisely as possible, so as best as they could tell. Um, I note, and I've gotten real attentive to this because of how the particle and of are used to replace this prefix in Old Norse poetry. But I've come to note that this yet very frequently seems to be have sort of a inceptive meaning, like come to know, wits on,
Yeah.
know, your wits on, come to know, might ascertain. That seems to be a fairly common use of it with verbs.
Mhm.
So one of them was as far as well as they might tell in the likeness of a woman, another shaped for misery with a man's growth treads the misery
Mhm.
paths. So Grendel not only is man-like in appearance, but apparently uh, like we should take him as very ugly or miserable here,
Mhm.
except that he was bigger than any other man. Grendel, or no, they named him that one, Tone, Grendel in old days. The earth dwellers, the men, named him Grendel in old days. They did not know a father, whether there was any, whether he was begotten Akened, Achened, uh, by him of secret ghosts, by one of the secret ghosts, whether he had a father among the secret monsters, unknown monsters.
I think I sort of interpreted this as like, were there any of him kind of before him?
Hmm.
I mean,
Certainly,
like it, yeah.
the question about whether he is a father, you could kind of take two ways. Is he the first? Is he just shaped, created, or something?
Mhm.
Or just do they not know who the dad was? I mean, he has a mom.
Mhm.
And we get two words for secret here, one of which, that Deagle, that's uh that's Smeagol's friend, right?
Yes, I believe so.
In the boat, the one that he kills. Spoiler alert. Yeah. So
You get.
they occupy a secret land, wolf slopes, windy peninsulas,
Mhm.
dangerous passage through the fens, where a mountain stream flows down under the mists of the peninsulas, the flood, the water, the river, under the earth. It is not far from here by the measure of a mile, by mile measurements, that the mere stands, the water stands. Over it, frosty forests hang. A wood, strong in roots, overshadows the water. There, every night, one might see evil wonders, neath wundor, which is a cool compound too. Fire on the water. There is not a wise one among the children of men who lives that may know that land. Though the heath stepper, kind of a cool kenning for buck, as I take it, uh,
Oh, okay.
right? Because this is turning to like a side note story. Though the buck, uh, afflicted by the hounds, is swanched hunden, strong. the deer, the Herot, strong with his horns, might seek the forest, put to flight far away, before he gives up his life, he feorth selleth. All right. And now the rest of this fit. I should have stopped before the deer story.
Oh no. I was looking at it in chunks, and there are so few obvious breaking points.
Oh yeah. I mean, and even more so is that true if you're looking at the manuscript,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I mean, I am thankful other people have looked at this and put it into Times New Roman.
Yeah.
As as much as I like insular minuscule, um, that just block of text that you get for poetry in those medieval manuscripts, it can be hard to figure out where to stop or start.
Mhm.
Aldor on ofre he in wille, Havelan bergan, nistat hero stow. Thonan uthia blond upp a stigeth, one to woknum, thona win styreth, lathia widru. Othat lift thrysma, roderas reoteth. Nu is radia long eft at the anum. Djetne konst frikna stowe, ther thu findan micht sinnine sedge, seitjif thu dure. Ich they tha fechthe feo leonia, eildias treonum swa ich dude, wunnan golde, yfthu on way cummist. All right, so the deer, before he gives up his life, um, puts his life on offer before he will go in to save his head. That is not a safe place. So the deer who's being chased by the hounds, he will seek, I think he'll seek the forest before he wants to go into this place because it's not a safe place. The deer even avoid this evil place. From there, the mixed waves is blonde step up, come up, dark toward the clouds. When the wind stirs them, the hateful storm, until it oppresses the air and the skies weep. Now that road is long for you alone. You do not know the land yet, the dangerous place where you might find the sinful being. Seek it if you dare. I reward with money. I will reward you with money for that hostile deed, with old gold, as I earlier did, wound with gold, treasures wound with gold, if you come on the way, if you go on that path.
Mhm.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Evocative.
Yeah.
And there are couple words in here that are supposedly from Welsh.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, I was really surprised at that. So, because you don't get a lot of that in Old English, right?
No,
Um,
surprisingly little.
this trum word for strong that's used of the deer
Mm.
is supposedly from Brittonic. And then some commentators take this wan word for dark in Old English as a borrowing from Celtic. However,
Mm.
it is in Frisian, which
Right.
would be less likely to have a Celtic borrowing, so hard to say. But I thought that was kind of interesting, right? To see a couple words clustering together. And naturally, those are words that I, as an Old Norse guy, had to look up. And that's why I noticed, oh, Welsh.
Yeah, I my I think my section started off and I was like I felt reasonably comfortable with the vocabulary and I was like, oh, maybe I'm I don't know if this reflects me um knowing more than I did, or the vocabulary just being more straightforward. But then as it went later on, I was like coming across all sorts of words. Um,
Yeah, your next fit, because I read through them too, and just, if I didn't recognize a word immediately, I'd look it up and write it down on the margin. Your fit starts off as one of the easiest sections in this reading and then becomes one of the hardest.
one really, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I noticed that.
We had a question in the chat. Marco said, "What does the old gold in this passage mean?" So that's right here, Aeolgeostraonum. So it's old and then something strewn. So generally, like a treasure, you're strewing it, you're distributing it. Old strewings, I guess you would say in English. Uh, I think he's just saying that it's, ancient treasures, right? And probably the reason why he's using that old is to get that alliteration with air. But I don't know that I have any deeper comment on it than that.
I think there might be something like that in one of my fits as well.
I don't think it's a unusual collocation,
Hmm.
old and treasure, because something from the old world is going to be a bigger treasure.
Yeah, some ancient relic. Would it make more sense to read off of your side?
You want me to just leave that up?
If that would that be just as a oh, thank you very much, because I'm
Sure.
pretty sure they're basically the same.
Okay.
Um, okay, so shall I get into fit 21? Um, and I've got a nice full stop near the bottom there, after that.
This nice.
Right. So Beowulf Motherlode, Barn Edge Thewes, Nesorga Snotorguma, Selre Bith Aihwam, that he his freund breche, thonne he fella murne, ur Aihwilt shall ende je vidan, world lives. Virce sethe mote, domes dade, um, Thappith dricht guman un liviendum, after celest. A ris riches ward, uton Rotherferon, Grendles magan, gang shawion. Ich hit the hate, no heon helm losath, neon foldan fathom, neon fyrien holte, and no, oh, on fyrien holt, neon givenest grund, gathar he wille, thys dovor, thu je syld hava, wauna I hulches, swaich the weneto. A llewptha se gomila, gode thankode, michtiran drichne, thasse man je sprak, tha was Hrothgar hors je bated, which wunden fauch, wisa fengel, jatolich gengde, gumfeda stop, lindhabendra, lastas waron after wald swadum, wide je syne, gang over grundas, gegnum, hang on, jegnum, yeah, yeah. I'll say jegnum for tha over myrkan mor, magothena bar, thone celestan, sawol lausne, thara themid Hrothgare harm autode. There was a bit in there where I think I said holte automatically because I saw on previously, so that's Colin Gorey's work
That's
seeped in my head usefully. Um,
but that's yeah, I get it. At the same time, that's onto, right? That's with
yeah,
motion.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I always found that even though it's true, I think it's true in Latin as well, isn't it? That it takes the accusative if it's into, onto. Is that right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's a common Indo-European thing as far as I recall, that those in on prepositions assign accusative uh, for movement onto into, but locative originally, but dative in a lot of languages for stationary.
so this word motherlode, I feel like popped up at the start of every fit
Oh
earlier on.
yeah, just
Um,
about.
but yeah. So Beowulf said, or Beowulf, the child of Ecgtheow, said, "Don't worry, no worries, wise man. Um, Selre bydd ai wham, like better it's better be it or it's better for everyone um, for that for him to um, like glorify his friend.
I think it's a
Um,
binge, isn't it? Recon?
what did I come? I think Slade has Avenge. I might have gone from something in Bosworth Toller there, but I feel like Avenge probably makes more sense. So it's better for everyone that he avenge his friend than he mourn a lot or he mourn excessively too much. Fella mourne. Um, I guess Ura which is like each of us must um, wait for the end in the bidon. Uh, World lives in the world of life.
Hmm.
Each of us must wait for the end in the world of life. Um, uh, the one, um, so is this like, would you say, the one, almost like the one that can achieve glory before death, or may the one that's capable achieve glory before death?
I think you're right that those are jussive subjunctives. May that one, yeah. I think you're right, yeah. May the one who may, saith mote, the one who may he work, yeah, like doom, something to be doomed, as in like renowned for. Yeah.
Mhm. Um, yeah, so may that one achieve or attain or produce um, some positive fate before death. Um, and that is that is best for the warrior. That's best for the unliving warrior afterwards.
Mhm.
Like so, it's, I do like this phrasing. I wonder how intelligible this kind of phrasing was to the average speaker back then. Um,
You know, it's not as straightforward as it could be. In in spirit, I mean, it definitely you could put a you can take a Christian spin on it. It also reminds me quite a bit in spirit of something like, the most famous stanza of the whole Poetic Edda. Uh, Cows die and friends die and you yourself die the same, but the one
mhm,
thing that never dies is the judgment on the dead man. Like this is extremely similar in spirit to that,
mhm.
although way wordier.
Yeah, I was meaning. even I wonder if it's just me not being used to it that makes the because it's like that is for the Driftguma unliving after best. So I was thinking
Mm,
more about sort of ordering of the words, but yeah, so that's what's best for the warrior after he dies, effectively.
yeah.
Um, and
And
then,
it's
sorry,
interesting. Go ahead. Uh,
oh, I was just going to carry on, but if you have a comment,
well, I was just going to say this poet likes adding a little bit extra to like I feel like how to put this? I feel like a lot of Norse poets will choose fewer words and just figure out, what can I get in there to get the minimum alliterations and just kind of very lightly touch this and suggest to you what you're reading. This guy, I feel like, does the opposite and
yeah,
says, I want to add an extra half line here just to make sure that I'm getting more alliteration in there. Um,
yeah,
each one of us shall wait for the end. Okay, but he adds that in the world of life,
mhm.
which I feel like a Norse poet is like, it's not necessary. You don't need that extra stuff. But he embellishes quite a bit like that.
It's almost like the sort of artistry of the words, like he's sort of padding out the story to serve the artistry of the
Hmm.
kind of verbal composition.
And it
Um,
works. It sounds good.
yeah, yeah. I feel like you get lots of fun description as a result.
Oh yeah,
Um,
well, I mean, like that little
and then like,
episode with the deer is so memorable, like it's not, you don't need it there, but it's kind of neat.
mhm. um, we're on Aris. Aris reaches word, so like arise, guardian of the kingdom. Um, let's go quickly, rather. Um, I can't remember if I said this in a previous one, but Hrother is an interest is I like the fact that I think Hrother um is fossilized in rather, modern English rather, which if you think about the sort of um the more traditional use, um well, I guess it's still the normal use. I'd rather do this than that. I'd more quickly do this than that.
Yeah,
Um
that's a
so that's
favorite little etymology tidbit.
yeah. Um so let's go quickly. Um Grendel's kin relative. Um, like I think Slade has an interesting way of what is it? Hang on. Trail survey. Gung Shao Yun. I I I guess the sentiment is like inspectors of the tracks, inspectors of the path of Grendel's kin. Um, and I promise to you, I promise it to you, um, that I guess you translate that as she, because I guess here is
Oh, you're right.
referring back to
I hadn't even I hadn't
um,
even thought about the fact that it says he there, and we're talking about her. Yeah,
I
I
guess
guess
it's
that's
agreeing
because
with
of
the gender.
MAGA.
Ma, yeah, my is it? Yeah, it's agreeing with Morgan, I think. So she will not escape into the cover, um, not in the sort of embrace or bosom of the earth, not in the mountain wood, um, not at the like on the seabed, not under deep under the sea, Grund. Um, Garthad he will there. So go where she wants, wherever she might go. Um, this day you um, have or should have patience um, in each of the woes. Um, Swaige the win it all as I guess like as I would expect of you,
Mhm.
um, or like as I hope you would.
Yeah, I was thinking, how do you put this in the right tone? Because Beowulf never seems, I don't know,
Yeah.
insubordinate to Hrothgar. So like, yeah, as I would hope you would sounds nice, I think. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I guess expect sounds a little bit like unless I guess it could be read as like I wouldn't expect anything less of a guy like you kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
Ar Llylp Thar Segomila, the old one, the ancient one, jumped up, um, thanked God, mighty Lord, uh, for what the man said. Um, and then a horse was bridled for Hrothgar, a steed with wunden falcons, like braided locks, braided hair. Um, and then the wise Fengel, I think Bosworth Toller had prince, like noble.
That's what I found for that too. And I didn't see an explanation of where this comes from. It rhymes with Thengel, which is a
Mhm.
better known word for the same thing. But
It may be one of I didn't look at what the examples were, so it might be one of these weird words that's just attested in Beowulf, and it's
yeah, that may be.
so poetic, poetically obscure that it's just they've had to kind of triangulate what it means just from Beowulf. Because that's I feel like that's a thing with a lot of these words. It's all well and good looking them up in Bosworth Toller, but then the definition given in Bosworth Toller may just have been ascertained from context
Oh,
from Beowulf, you know.
well,
Um,
that's why I like the Claber. I can't remember yesterday very well, but did I ever send you Claber? I feel like I talked about it.
you certainly talked about it, yeah. Oh, we did talk about it. Um, I think there may have been talk of me getting it, but I think I haven't. So
Okay.
I'm sorry about that if I said I would, but I
I,
should.
I
It's
remember I remember I talked about it and I thought, did I ever figure out how to get that to you? But I mean, it's a wonderful edition. And the full glossary in the back. And one of the things, and a lot of discussion often of difficult words. They don't have much to say here, except maybe it's from, phone, but it is a word only found in Beowulf. And by the way, if you go looking through the glossary in the back of Kleber, there is a little double cross that indicates all the words that are only found in Beowulf, and it's like half the words on the page.
very useful. Yeah. Yeah, I think you actually showed me like a few pages of it once, and it seems very good and systematic. Um,
Yeah, it is.
so I hope that this time I can remember to actually get a copy. Um,
Well,
yeah,
I will
so,
I will see if I can figure out a way to get you one.
oh, that's okay. We can discuss the possibility, but I'd be happy to purchase one. Um, where are we? We're in Weezerfingel, the wise prince, noble. Um, uh, kind of hurried on, well prepared. Um, the army stepped or like marched Lindhabendra, like shield bearers. Um, Footprints were on the forest trail. Um, I I've had to, with the word after, that preposition, I've had to just start working out what the best English one is from context because it seems so divorced from the modern English meaning of the word here. I guess that's just a preposition thing in general.
Oh yeah.
So footprints were on the forest trail, widely seen. Footprints were widely seen on the trail. Um, the track over the ground or grounds, grundas. Um, I think these are two different words for forward, right? Like forward, straight, directly forward, I guess. Um,
Well, I thought for was the verb. It went.
oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah, like fed on. Um, yeah. So they went forward um, over dark, murky moor. Um, the guess the men, but there's more nuance there, I suppose. Like the servants, Mahulthena. I can't remember what I found in Bosworth Toller on this.
It's like
Uh,
son and thane. I mean, yeah, I think you're right that it's effectively it's man, but
mhm.
yeah, the
The guys,
yeah
um,
the sons of thanes, thanes
the
sons.
sons of Thanes, um, carried the um, the best, and then Sarwal Lausne, soulless. Um, I'm a bit confused by this. I'm always tempted to turn to a translation, but I almost feel like that's cheating. Um, Sarwal Lausne.
This is weird. Like I also puzzled for a minute over this. I think I see what's going on, but I don't know why they're doing it. I I think they're carrying Ashera's body with them.
I think they are because later they do something which suggests they have it. Yeah, okay, yeah, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So over the Dark Moor, the sons of Thanes carried the the best one, maybe, um, who was soulless. Um, oh, I'm missing some extra stuff that's that comes later. So over the Dark Moor, the servants carried the best of the ones that watched the village with Hrothgar, brackets, and he was soulless.
Yeah,
That's kind of
I
reading that.
think something like that is what it is, and what it's saying is, yeah, for whatever reason, they're bringing his body with them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to bury him out there. I don't know, but the I was perplexed by that myself. I'm like, what's the soulless thing? Especially right next to happiest or best. But
Mhm.
yeah, all
Um,
right.
and then the noble's child, hang on. Oh, have we reached the end of the
We're
bit?
at the end of that. Let me scroll up.
I see, yeah. After the, yeah. So, overelde tha Adelinga barn, stab stan llyddo, stie nawrwe, enge an poddas, cwdd ielad, neule nessas, Nikor husa fella, he fara sum, before on gengde, Wisra monna, wong shawion, Othat he färinga, Fyrien barnas, over Harnestan, Llaunion funde, Winlausne wudu, water understod, Dreuri and Jedreved, denum allum was winum Schillinga, Werkion mode, to Jesolianne, Seine monigum, on Kyth Eula Jehwan, Sithan Ashheres on Tham Holmclive, Havilan Meton. Flawed blode well, folk to Saron, Heart on Helvre, Horn stundum song, Fuslich, Fyrdleoth, Feather al Yesat, Yesawan tha after Watere, Wyrmkinnes fella, Selliche, Sädrakan, Sundkunnian, Swilche on Nasfleldum, Nikras hang on. I'll say Lidjaun, but I think that might be pronounced differently. Tha on Undermal, oft bewittigoth, sorgfulness seeth, on Seilrade, Wirmas and Wildeur, Hiu on Way Hruron, Bittere and Jebolgne, Bartum on Yaton, Guthhorn, Golan. I'll just read to the end. Sumne Yautal Leod of Flanbogan, Feures je Twavde. Okay, we're halfway through a sentence, but
Oh, okay. Well, I can scroll a little further, but we're
I
kind of in the
think,
middle of a section there anyway. So,
yeah, I could have stopped at the period, but I thought I just may as well press on.
and
But
if I may point out one thing here that's,
mhm,
I think, particularly striking when you just listen to it all in connection, just being read fluidly, is it's pretty remarkable how consistent the poet is in placing verbs at the end of the long line.
mm,
Right? Just about always, that's where you're spotting the verbs. And I find that I was kind of picking up on that pattern and it was helping me sometimes figure out the syntax too. But that's not your prose Old English syntax, right? Old English isn't verb final. But that's that meter that's doing it. That's for because your alliterating staves are the ones that are coming. You have one or two alliterating staves in the first half line, and then the first stave, the first lift in the second half line is also alliterating. But verbs are low emphasis in Germanic languages. So they get just shoved to that end. And I kind of wonder what the chicken and the egg is there, because everything that we can see of uh, Gothic that isn't just directly calqued on Greek makes it look like Gothic is verb final naturally. So is it that originally these languages are verb final, and that's what gets them assigned this low tonic position in poetry, or are they
well,
assigned, yeah, I don't know, chicken and egg there?
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much true throughout, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if there's a verb, especially an inflected verb, it's at the end, and uninflected verbs too.
Hmm. Um, Ovid. So then the um, child of the nobles sort of passed over. Um, Steep stone slopes, narrow paths, and then enge, another word for narrow, I think. Narrow, like one paths, like single track paths, I guess. Um, Unknown, unexplored paths, unkurs. Um, Neule, Nasus, like low peninsulas or headlands. Um,
Glaber said steep.
Steep, that makes sense. Um, the Many houses of, I guess, sea monsters, this word nikor, um, like sea serpents or sea monsters. I think it's another one of those things where the exact physical properties of this
Mm.
animal, of this, thing are unclear, but they seem to be associated with water.
And the word is
Um,
persistent because you see it as a word for water monsters in Middle English. Like
mm,
the word is fairly persistent.
yeah, it's not a one-off Beowulf word. Um, I think there might be a dialect word neck which survived until recently, more recently. Um, but that's just in the back of my head. I can't remember what dialect,
And
which
there's
meant a similar thing.
yeah, and there's Scandinavian uh, supernatural beings, with names that are along the same lines.
Mhm.
The Nukin or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a modern word rather than an Old Norse word, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if you actually see a cognate to it in Old Norse, but um, all that modern, gnome and
Hmm.
troll kind of folklore, that word comes up. And
So the many houses of these sea monsters or water monsters. Um, he um, with with just a few um, other people, I suppose, went forwards, wise people, wise men, um, to inspecting the plain, um, until he suddenly um, found mountain trees over grey stone, Harnestan, like kind of hoar in the sense of grey kind of stone. Um, Joyless woodland, um, and water stood underneath, bloody and agitated, or bloody and stirred up, this water. Um, to all Danes, to all Danes, to the friends of the Scyldings, um, pain was um, pain. There was pain in the mind, to Yetholion, to like suffer.
hmm,
I think this tholion word, I'm pretty sure, is a distant cognate of tolerate. Um,
that
I
would make
think.
sense, actually, yeah, because with Grimm's Law, that T and that thorn, and it's a common word in Old Norse, thola, and it
Mm,
survives in modern Scandinavian languages as like tola in Swedish. Yeah.
mhm.
I think it's actually something that survives in Scots as thole.
Like thole. Yeah, I was thinking there was some dialect word thole. I'd certainly believe it. Yeah. So pain to tolerate or pain to endure in the mind to many thanes. Um, like grief every one of the every one of the nobles. Hang on, what does I'm probably being stupid here. I'm just going to see what Slade has for this. Um, where are we on
But
Q's?
grief for each one of them, right? Because it's that
Oh,
dated.
cool. Yeah, that's that's me just missing something. Yeah, so grief for every one of the nobles. Um, Suthun, so like I guess from that point, then um Ashera's head, they came upon Ashera's head on the
Oh,
sea cliff.
maybe
Is
that's why
how
they brought it because they didn't have his head,
that's what I was thinking earlier.
and they
Um,
hoped to reunite it with the head. That had not occurred to me. Hmm.
I think that's sound. So they come across Ashera's head on the cliff. Um, uh, the flood sort of welled, welled with blood. Um, I guess that means the sea underneath. And then people sank, I guess, maybe like sank to their knees to to the head or something, or perhaps maybe descended towards the sea. Um, oh, I guess maybe people descended as in towards the sea with hot blood or like hot viscera. Um, so
Or is
hmm,
or is the sea hot with the so the water welled up with blood? Skip that next half line. It's hot
hmm,
with viscera,
yeah,
and the people, yeah, like went down to it.
that maybe that makes more sense. Yeah, I was wondering if it was like hot blood, like angry, they were enraged or something, but I feel like that probably makes more sense. What you said. So the seas flowing with hot blood and viscera. People maybe descend towards the sea. Um, and then at that point, which is how I'm interpreting Stundum, a horn sang um, a prepared or like devised fourth song, I guess like a song to commence, a tune to commence, or rile people up to go and do something.
Although
Uh,
feared is an army, right? So like an army song.
oh, have I? I might have misread the word. Fyrd. Oh, right. I've written fourth, which I think is probably wrong. Not in the text. Uh, oh, Slade has fourth Leoth.
Yeah, I'm looking at the apparatus. In Klaber, the apparatus has multiple different things different people print. So in the manuscript, there is just an F. So actually,
Hmm.
everybody is supplying something there.
All right.
So
Yeah. Okay.
so either way, yeah, I don't. Uh,
Fyrd. I mean, I think either of those kind of makes sense.
yeah,
Like some song to rile people up. Um, Soldiers all sat, um, and they saw then in the water another creative use of after. After they saw then after the water, like through the water, many of the Wyrmtunes, the like serpents kin.
Mm.
So there's this word wyrm, which can be used to refer to kind of natural creatures like snakes, I think, but also um, ambiguous mythical kind of serpenty creatures. Well, I guess we assume serpenty creatures. Um, Although I guess it makes it clearer by saying strange sad drakan,
Hmm.
which like sea dragon, um, sea dragons to um, search or explore the water, the sund, the sea. Well, I guess the sound. I guess sound is still a word used for a body of water. Um, Likewise, on the Nas Hlewdum, the headland brows, um, sea monsters. Um,
And you know
li-
what? Speaking of those sea monsters, Rampai asked if that's in um,
oh yeah,
Egil, and I can check fairly fast. I just go into Lexicon Poeticum. Tick, 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 tick. Well, there's Nuker, just kind of a similar looking thing. Water horse, Nukraborg.
see, I had in my head that the more recent, um, I had in my head that there was something to do with a horse in folklore, like a water horse. Um,
There is something called like um oh, what is it called? There's something like that in like Scottish folklore, isn't there? Is selkie the word? The thing
Something
that
like
looks like
that. Yeah,
it
yeah,
looks like a horse and it gets you to ride it and then it drowns you.
yeah. Ryan says sulky.
Um,
That is, yeah, I think that's the word.
but these guys are I don't know. We like should we be picturing yeah, sea serpents or some kind of walrus type thing? I don't really know.
Maybe maybe it's a walrus. Maybe that's maybe they just don't know what a walrus is.
Hey, I mean, and some of those big sea mammals are they're gigantic. They're kind of scary.
Yeah, I think one showed up in the UK a couple of years ago where it shouldn't have been. So maybe
A
it'd
walrus?
be quite a walrus. Yeah, I think it just showed up on the east coast somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
Um,
Yeah,
it's
they're
quite cool.
enormous.
Have you seen one in real
Yeah,
life?
yeah, they're huge.
Never, never seen them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it'd be pretty horror terrifying if you saw one, like having not knowing what it was. Um, but yeah, so sea monsters lying on these headland brows, um, which in the morning time often carry out or undertake awful undertakings, awful journeys on the sail road, which I guess is a kenning for sea, um, sailrade,
yeah.
and then serpents and wild animals. Um, they rushed away, bitter and angry, um, heard a noise, a war horn calling, um, and then a particular one of the Geats men, one of the Geats men with, I'm just saying with for off, um, or from an arrow bow, separated, uh, separated it from life. So I guess the man has shot um, this one of these things with an arrow.
I think you're
Um,
right. The only thing there is that that Sumna is accusative, so it's a man of the Geats deprived particular one of them,
Okay.
right? So
Oh, okay.
that's
Oh, yeah.
just to be persnickety.
Yeah, I was looking for where it mentioned the thing that was being shot with the arrow, so that's very helpful actually.
I,
Yeah. So
in,
one
in fact, it might be Sumne Uthiyawin as a particular one of the like wave strife.
mhm,
Uh, although that word wave strife actually means like a fight a little bit later. So I
mhm.
don't know. All right, I scrolled up to where that sentence started.
Yeah. So Sumne Jouter Leld of Flanbogan Feures Yetwavde Uthia that himon aldre stod Herestral Harda Heon Holme was Sundeste Sandra Thegune Swilt Fornam Hradde Warf on Idum Mid Elverspreiltum Heuro Hokuchtum Horde Yenarwood Neither Yenayed and on Nas Toyen Torin. Hang on, I've forgotten what that word actually is, but we'll come to it. Wunderlich Weibora Weras Shawedon Grurelichne Yist Gurede Hine Beowulf Eurlio Jewadum Nolles for Aldre Maarn Sjolde Herrebyrne Hondum Jebroden Seed an Saurofach Sund Kunnion Selthe Barn Kovan Belgan Kude that him Hildegrap Redre Nemichte Eures Inuit Feng Aldre Yeshedvan Axe Huita Helm Havelan Werede Sethe Meregrundas Mengan Sjolde Sekan Sund Jebland Sintje Jewerdad Befungen Frau Rasnum Swahine Fyrndahum Worte, I hate the clusters, Worte Wapna Smith Wundrum Theode Besette Swinlicum that hine Sithan no Brond ne Baudu Mekas Beaton ne Mauton Näst sonne Mätost Meron Fultuma that himon Tharvelar Thile Hrothgaris was Tham Haft Meche Hrunting Nama. Good Hrunting. Okay, so as we were saying before, so a man of the Geats separated one of the sea monsters from its life with an arrow bow. I like separated it from its life.
But also
um,
arrow bow. I mean, like
arrow bow, yeah, Flanborn.
again, this guy is really relaxed. You know, he doesn't have he is not trying to work within a concise framework, right? Like he's chill. He's hitting that word count. If this were NaNoWriMo, he'd be doing fine.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so off this wave strife word um, is your winness. Um, that um, to it on life stood war arrow hard. So I may have to.
Well, yeah, that hard arrow stood in his life, which might mean his body. I mean, certainly in Scandinavian languages, life can mean body. If you put your
Hmm,
arm around someone's leave, at
okay,
least like
okay.
in Norwegian, you're putting it around their body.
I
Let
hadn't
me see if
considered that.
Flavor says something about that.
It's Aldor, isn't it?
Oh, with an E, right? Ealdor. Um, he does give vitals there. So,
Okay.
yeah, stood in the,
I guess life as a kind of byword for important organs.
yeah.
Um, so it's been hit with this arrow. Um, it was, I guess, like all the slower in the sea of in the of the water. It was moving the slower when um, a I've I've translated this as when a whirlpool took it, but I think it could just be like death took it. Um,
Yeah, I think it's just death, right? That's just a like an I stem noun to the same root that's in like swelton, right? To die.
okay. So death took it. Um, it was quick in the waves, um, with boar poles, I guess like boar spears, uh, sword hooked, hårkifton hooked. Um, how did it? Yeah, narwod. I put like hard constrained. I think Slade might have like hard pressed. Um,
Yeah, I think after the one guy shoots it with an arrow, a bunch of other people start stabbing it with their hunting spears.
yeah. So it's people are coming at it from all angles. Savagely assaulted, neither you nadded, and um, on the headland dragged. I guess I guess they're dragging it. Um, on the headland dragged wondrous wave spawn. I guess Wunderlich is not necessarily a positive word here,
No, I
like
was noticing that it definitely is
impressive.
not necessarily a good thing. Yeah.
So they've dragged this impressive kind of beast, this wave spawn, onto the headland. Um, men observed the uh, terrible, terrible froth guest, storm guest. Um, this beast of the froth, I guess. And then Beowulf prepared himself in noble garments, uh, not at all concerned about his life. Um, and then he, I guess um, he must explore the water in his armor, which was woven by hand, broad and skillfully decorated.
I think
So,
that's exactly right. Yeah, you got to take that Cooney on with the shoulder a couple lines over it. Yeah.
mhm. So he's exploring the sea in his nice armor.
Mm.
Um, that um, I'm sorry, I'm so much slower at this than you. Um, so that to him, Hildegard, like battle grip. Um, it, it's kind of like the angry malice grasp of battle can't can't like scathe his life, can't like scratch his life.
I think
Is
that's right. So
so
in 1445, I think we've got a reference back to the armor which could protect the bone container, his
the
body.
bone cave.
Yeah. And so that the battle grip might not, the battle grip, the angry one's grasp, right? Evil grasp,
Like malice grasp is how I've written it.
malice grasp. That
Evil
sounds
grasp.
good. Might not injure his, and this is like heart, right? This is like the vital organs, his
Hmm.
life. Might, yeah. So really, he's just padding this out to give us a nice long bit about how good his armor is and how it's going to protect him, I think.
Hmm. Um, I guess Uck in this case is it would be weird if it was but. So I guess I'll just put like and the white helmet um protected the head, protected his head. Um, uh, that which the seabed um must mix up or stir up. Well, seek seek the stirring of the sea, adorned with treasure. I guess they're still talking about the armor, so um,
Yeah, I guess, right? It's not obvious to me who or what is supposed to stir up the sea.
no. I'll see if Slade has anything. Um, so we're quite far down now. He's got nor angry grasp of malice his life scathe. Moreover, the shining helm warded his head, that which the mere depths must stir up, seek the mingling of waters. I mean,
That
it's a
translation is ignoring the question.
yeah, yeah. I guess it's just a slightly confusingly written bit because I can't seem to connect it back to anything. Um,
Yeah, because by the end of this, I can tell we're still talking about the armor.
yeah. So
So there's like this middle digression here. I don't know. I don't know what this thing is about stirring up the bottom of the ocean.
I guess I'm trying to look at the cases. Is it possible that the armor is the armor must stir up the water, like it's drawn to the water or something, but then that would make it I can't tell. I feel like I may have to write that one off slightly. I feel like the sentiment is understandable. It's just like the specific.
Yeah, I mean, he's bragging about the armor. If there's one line in that that's a little bit confusing, what are you going to
Mhm.
do? There's no elaboration about this particular passage in the commentary in Kleber.
No, okay. Um, so Befungen, gripped with Lord Ban's Rasnum, um, as as weapons, as the smith of weapons wrought it in distant days, far days, formed with wonders, beset with sween licum, with like pig likenesses, um, that um, that no blade or swords could then bite it. No blade or sword could damage it, get through it. Um, and then I feel like some lighter or something is happening here, if that's the right word. Uh, like it wasn't the least um, like powerful aids, powerful helpers. Um, that to him in need lent, like the Thule of Hrothgar, which I found a translation as like spokesman for Thule. Um,
Oh, this word is vexed.
yeah,
Um, I mean, it shows up. I think it might show up elsewhere in Old English, but it's used a few times for Unferth and Beowulf, and it shows up in Old Norse. It's Thulr. Um,
mm,
and Odin is a Thulr, and occasionally in runic inscriptions, someone is called a Thulr. Oh no, this is the only source for it in Old English, says
mm.
Kleber's glossary. So it's some kind of old,
Wise.
or yeah, wise man or oratorical office. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's also a verb in Old Norse, thulia, which is like murmur, mutter, which
Mhm.
doesn't really help you much, right? It just shows you that something to do with speaking.
Yeah, yeah. Mutterer, ear whisperer.
Yeah, his worm tongue,
Mhm. Um, and then we have this aside. The halved sword was called Hrunting, um, and that was um, like one in front of, or like what I guess I read this as like that was at the top of the list of like old treasures. That was, I don't know,
Okay. So
aren't full on. I
you're
don't,
seeing it as like one before them.
sort of like in front of the rest or something. Um, but I'm not very confident about that. What does it was one
That
above or
seems
basically
that seems
translate.
similar to what Kleber's taking there. My Old Norse pilled brain sees on a anything that can vaguely relate to direction and sees it as from it. So my just quick reading of that was an ancient treasure from before, but it doesn't look like
Right.
that means that in Old English. So I think you're closer to what that means. Yeah. It was one like before other old treasures. Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Um, the edge was iron with poison twigs decorated, um, which is a little bit nine herbs charmy
Hmm.
imagery there. Hardened with battle blood or battle sweat. um, it never abandoned any person at battle or in battle who wielded it with their hands. Um, the one that dared to pass over terrible paths, the dwelling place of foes. Um, well, I guess this is still talking about the hypothetical person that wielded the Hrunting. So like it never abandoned in battle any person who wielded it with his hands
Mhm.
that dared to pass over terrible paths, the dwelling place of foes.
Hmm.
Um, I guess this wasn't the first time that it had to perform uh, like courage work.
Another
This
cool
wasn't the first
compound.
time. Yeah, Ellen work. Um, and hang on, how far? We've still
Oh,
got.
yeah, we've actually gone past where you
Oh, so,
were to. Well, no, I couldn't remember either. All right.
so Hrunting Nama. Um,
I think you got to around there. I think this is what's left of this fit.
oh yeah, yeah, I did up to Hrunting, didn't I? So that was on Foran. So these first few lines I've just accidentally done in advance. So that was on Foran. Ald Ystreona. Edge was even. Arter Taurum. Or it might have like Tarnum in here or something like that. But Arter Taurum Far are Hyrded Hauluswate. Navrehit at Hilde Neswak. Monna Anium. Tharathe hit mit mundum bewand. Sethe Grure Sidas. Jegan Durste. Folkstede fara. Näst that forma Syth. That it ellen work. Avnan skjolde. Huru neje munde. Mahu edgelabes. Audes kraftig. That he je sprak. Wine drunken. Tha he thas wapnes on lach. Selron swerdfrekon. Selvane dorste. Under ydda je win. Aldre je nedan. Dritskipe dreugan. Thar he dome for las. Elden mardum. Ne was tham Othrum swa. Sithan he hinne to gude. Je gured havde. Goodbye, Marco. Thank you very much for coming, and also Mikhail
We always
and
go
anyone.
long on these. Yeah, I maybe should have mentioned that long ago.
Oh, that's all right. I forgot how I was guessing like 3 hours, which I guess is maybe realistic
I don't
because I
know.
think it was a hard one.
We,
I don't know. We'll
we've
see.
done it. It's been 3 hours before.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So we've just translated um, Elin work Avnan Shoulder. So um, indeed, um, the kin of Edgelaf, crafty in hardship, um, didn't remember the thing that he said before, drunk on wine, when he lent the weapons to better swordsmen. Um, I guess, like he himself didn't dare to venture his life under the hostility of waves.
Hmm.
Um, to perform bravery. That is, he didn't dare to perform bravery. There he forelet, or like let go of glory. He forewent glory, bravery, fame. Um, and that this wasn't so for the other when he himself, when he had prepared himself for war. So I'm thinking this is like what I've just said isn't true of Beowulf.
I think that's what it's getting at.
Like,
Unferth himself had this wonderful sword, didn't dare to use it in such a way, but
mhm.
lent it to Beowulf, who none of this can be said of, right? He's willing to take the risk.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. I apologize for leaning on you so much more in when it's my turn. I promise to try and get better prepared for next time. I completely forgot how I prepped for it last time. So there may be strategies. I guess I could just read through it a couple of times and come up with some hypotheses. Um,
You should also just get Kleber because
yeah.
the commentary is so good, and
Mhm.
the glossary all in one volume. It's really really good.
Do you mind? I know we're running on a bit, but just for the sake of, because it's like 10 here, do you mind if I run and get a coffee?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I'll pause recording and such for a little bit. Yeah. How long do you expect?
Just 5 minutes probably, unless
Okay.
you
Yeah.
need
Let's
a
take
lot.
a 5-minute intermission. I'll be back. Yeah. Let's say 53 minutes after the hour. I'll come back. Okay.
Hey
Mhm.
folks, we'll be back to your regular presentation in a moment, but for right now, I'm here at Grimfrost World Headquarters Longhouse with Johan Hegg, and I just want to remind you that if you have Viking needs, you have a Viking supplier. Grimfrost really cares about getting things right, and if you need replica, well, anything, right? Shields, helmets, weapons, board games, cool t-shirts, hats, all sorts of accessories like that. You can get them at grimfrost.com together with my books, and they ship just about anywhere in the world. So check them out. It does help support the channel.
Why not?
All right. I'm back. Sam says, can we have a whip round to buy Simon a copy of Clay? That's a great idea. Yeah.
No, no, it's just it's not the money. It's just my things just fall out of my head. I'm literally going to write it down right now. Um, Find flavor.
I bet my Patreon would go in on that as well. It's like, let's buy. I don't remember how much this was. I've had this since 2006 probably. Um,
Right. I've written that in my diary underneath the word Jackson question mark, which was
Jackson
when it was
question
still in
mark.
the penciling in stage.
Um, I think this is still the current edition, the fourth edition. I don't know if it's been updated since, if there's a fifth edition. Um, but I got this way back in early grad school.
Mhm.
It is just such a masterful edition. There's really nothing equivalent to it exactly for any other text that I'm aware of. Um,
Yeah, it looked incredible from what you showed. Very nicely laid out as well.
Commentary, archaeological background, word by word glossary,
Mhm.
full critical apparatus. I don't know of any text that has an edition quite this like loving. Well, actually, it's not quite true. Streitberg's edition of the Gothic Bible is similar.
Mhm.
I'll give that a shout. That's also similar
Is
edition.
it is it transliterated into the Roman
It is
alphabet?
transliterated, yeah.
Okay,
And it
I'll have to
has
get one.
the Greek on the facing page for
Oh,
every verse.
oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, it's pretty that's also that's a similar level of just extremely advanced edition. I mean, the best
Mhm.
edition you're going to get of the Poetic Edda writ large is this one by Jonas Christiansen and Vesteden Olason, but it doesn't have the same amount of apparatus to it.
Mhm.
This is just this is next level. Um, all right, I'll give it a shot on 22 here. Yep. Okay. All right. Beowulf Mathalode Bairn Edgetheowes Yethench Nu Samara Maga Healthenes Snotrafangel Nu Echeum Sidus Fus Gold Wenagumena Wet Wit Yeos Brakon Yevicha Therva Thinra Shoulda Aldra Linman That thu me a wara forðia wittenum on fædri stella. Vestu mundbora mínum magoþegnum, hondjesellum, jif mech hild nimme. Spurtja þú það madmas þegar þú me seildist. Hrothgar leova hilaka on send. Med thone on tham golde on jittan jeata driften, jeseon sunu hradles, thone he on that cinch starad. Thatich gum custom godna funne bega brutan break thona moste. On thu unferth lat elde lava ratlich waswerd weed kuthnaman herdage haban ich me mid Hruntinge dom jewirke or the mitch death nimit. I'll stop there because that's kind of a section. All right. Beowulf spoke, child of Edgetheo. Think now, great son of Halfdane. And there, I'm a little bit surprised. I don't know if this strikes you as surprising to see the article in a vocative, right? Because that's vocative, isn't it? He's talking to the son of Halfdane.
Mm.
So it's kind of interesting. You, the son of Halfdane, maybe. Wise Lord, now I am ready for the journey, eager for the journey. Gold friend of men, what we two spoke of already, and that Yale, uh, it's another place where you get an interesting archaic word. So that's Gothic "you," which means already, and that's cognate with Latin "jam," uh, Spanish
Yeah,
"ja." Yeah,
I hadn't come across that.
it's another pretty archaic little fossil there. It's always interesting to me to spot those.
Mhm.
And that's another word, by the way, and one of those archaic words that gets borrowed into Finnish, because in Finnish, yo is already.
Is it like a Proto-Germanic loan into Finnish?
Probably Proto-Germanic or, Proto-Norse, early enough Norse that
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
functionally like Proto-Germanic. If I part from life, Lennon Aldre, if I should part from life at your need, so for your sake, that
Mm.
you would be for me always in place for my like a father and
Like in place of a father.
yeah, but I'm going to be dead. So why do I need you to be my father? I think it's be a
Mm.
father like me in my departed place, like maybe a father to my men.
Mm.
Because I don't need you to be my like a father to me if I'm dead, right? And
Yeah, but does he mention Muddlethanen just afterwards? I wonder if that's
yeah, my like almost
like,
son Thanes. Because in your decrepit West Germanic languages, you don't have if you don't have any inflectional endings on these R stem family words anymore, right? Fatter is just fatter in every case, right?
uh, I I think so. I think you're right. I don't want to say it and then be wrong.
So that does not help. I'm not saying you're not helping. I'm
Yeah.
saying like this word does not
No,
help, right? It's not
yeah,
helping me figure out what it's doing. Um, fourth Wittenham, so like departed, Stala, place, position. So is it on the departed place of my father, for my father, father in my departed place? I feel like father in my departed place is the most satisfying way to take that when there's no case ending to tell me what father's doing.
mm,
But I'll read on and I'll see if it makes more sense. B, protector, hand bearer to my thanes, my like almost son thanes, yeah. My hand companions, my near companions, if battle takes me. See, I feel like that's what it is. He's saying like be like a father to my men.
yeah,
Such treasures you which you gave me, just as you gave me treasures, maybe Swilcha being adverbial, dear Hrothgar, send to yeah, such treasures as you gave me, dear Hrothgar, send to Higelac. Okay, that makes sense. Which is Beowulf's king, right? King in
yeah.
Galen, yeah.
His uncle.
Because his dad is edged there. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
This is uncle.
May then the Lord of the men of Yetzalan perceive in that gold, come to see the son of Hrethel when he stares on that treasure that I had found a good breaker of rings, a good lord with manly virtues, Gum Custom,
Mm,
and break then must. No, enjoyed, Brayak, right? Brucon. Enjoyed.
yeah,
Enjoyed when I must. More than what?
that's what Slade has like enjoyed while I could, but,
Oh, well, I could. Okay, that makes
but
sense.
yeah, I would have said while I had to, but I guess yeah, while I was able to.
Yeah. So yeah, you send him that treasure. He'll stare at it. He'll know that I found a good lord and that I enjoyed the same treatment while I could. Yeah, that makes sense. And let's so like give to oh, I guess maybe he's actually talking to Unferth here. And you, Unferth, have an old remnant, an old treasure, an ornamental wave sword, uh, a widely known man may have a hard edge. I, with Hrunting, work my renown for me, or death takes me. So unfair, you have this bet, this great sword back when I die. I am going to win my renown with Hrunting, or death will take me. I think it's pretty much pretty classic kind of hero boast there. Okay. Makes sense to go here. Actually, that's pretty good. All right. After them wordum wederjet leod efste med elna nallas ansvare bidan wolde. Brim wilm onfäng hilderingche. Tha was huildeas he thona grundwang on jutan mechte. Sona that on funde se the flore begang, hero jevre beheld hund misera, grim on gradi. That gumana sum elwichte eard uvan kunode. Grap that to jeanes gudrinch je fang, atolan clomum. Nothi in je showed hallan liche. Ring utan imberg that heothona fyrtom, dur faun ne michte, lokana leodo circan lathan fingrum. Berthaseo Brimwulf tha heo to boat macomb, Hringa thengel to hove sinum, Swahene michte, no he thes modi was, Wapna je weeldan, ac hene wynra thes fella, Swinkte on synde, Sade ormoni, Hilde tuxum, Here sukan brak, Echton ar lakan, Thus earl on yet, that he in need selle not wilchum was, der hem nanny water wichte na shedede, ne him for rovselle hrina ne mechte vergripa flores, fyr leochtje seach, blakne leoman berchte shinan. After those words, the man of the ram guitar, he hurried with courage. Not at all did he want to wait for an answer. He embraced the water surge with his sword. So I guess he's swimming with the sword in his hand or something. Then it was a while of the day before he might perceive the ground level, I guess the bottom
Like
of,
bed or the lake bed.
yeah, the bottom of the pool, the lake bed. Soon he found where the flood's course held sword greedy, 100 seasons, grim and greedy, that where a particular one of men explored from above the land of the elsewhere beings, the Alwicht. So he found in the flood's course where these elsewhere beings lived. Then the man grabbed toward, he gripped, oh no, she grabbed the man. She grabbed toward the man, gripped him with fierce claws or hands, not at all thus before injured. It showed the healthy body. Halon Licha, injured takes a dative. So, okay. The ring chainmail from outside protected him that she might not get through Thorfone, the war garment, the feared home, the locked, maybe linked battle shirt with hated, loathed fingers.
Mhm.
That ocean water she-wolf, she carried then, she came to the bottom, she carried the Lord of the Rings, Hringathengel. I've always wondered if that's where Tolkien got that.
Maybe.
To her residence, so he might not, he was not at all in the mood for this, I guess. He might not at all wield weapons, but many a wonder fellow Woundra afflicted him in the sea, I presume many a monster, many a ocean animal with war tusks broke the battle shirt enemies pursued him. Then the man perceived that he was in some kind of hate hall, enemy hall, that not Wilk, by the way, for anybody hanging out who's still around into Old Norse, is sort of close to what Nokkur, some or any, comes from in Old Norse. Um, where no water injured him at all, the roofed hall might not at all reach him with the sudden grip of the flood of the water. He saw the light of fire, a luminous light, shine bright. So all of a sudden he sees a light and he understands where he's at, and it's a roofed hall. Is that roughly what you see there?
To the extent that I was able to follow along, I didn't disagree with anything. Although I think my brain's just slower at this stuff than than yours is. But yeah,
My well, I'm I don't know. Maybe not always in this case. Onyeat tho segoda grund wiriana mera weave michti Mayenras forje of Hildebille hon swing ne of teath that here on Havilan ringmal ago gradi gudleoth. Thus a yiston fan that se beardeleam a bitan nolde aldre shethan axeo edgeswak theodna at therve. Tholode fella hondjamote helm oft jesher, feias fyrd hreil. Tha was forma si theorum madme that his dome a lie. So then the good one perceived that evil wolf woman of the deep and that mighty ocean woman, she gave a rush of strength, or no, he gave her a rush of strength with his sword, his war sword. He did not deny a swing with his hand, or the hand did not deny a swing. That sang out, Ogle, that ring embellished sword, that greedy sword, rang out on her head. Then the guest perceived the guest. It's very litotic.
there's a lot of guests in here.
There's a lot, yeah,
Um,
but I find it like it's kind of the litotic style of this poet.
yeah,
Kind of reminds me of The Wanderer, right? Everything is Lana, leaf is Lana, everything is on loan. I think that actual word comes up later.
yeah,
Um,
I think it does.
he perceived that the warlight, the sword, wouldn't bite, wouldn't injure the life, but the edge failed the Lord at need. It had endured before many a meeting of hands. It had often carved a helmet, the war garment of a doomed man. That was the first time for the precious treasure that it failed his renown.
Or would it be that it failed its own
Failed its own renown, that its own
renown?
renown failed, something like that.
Yeah.
Eftwas anrad nalas elnes lat merda yemundi ma hydlacus werpla wundenmal ratum yebunden ura orata that hit on eordan lai steve on stilage strenge yetruade mund grippa mayanes swashel mandon thon a hay at gude yegan thinksheth or yegan thinksheth long simna lov na his leaf cherad. I'll go that far because the rest of it can be done as one. So afterwards, or again, he was resolute, not at all lost his courage, mindful of fame, the son of Higelac. Turned then the wrap-marked sword, bound with ornaments, that angry warrior, that it lay on the earth. Oh, he threw it so that it lay on the earth. Firm and steel edge, he trusted his strength, the hand grip of his strength. So shall a man do when he thinks to obtain long-lasting praise in battle, not care about his life.
So it's like it's more important to him to prove that he can do it without weapons
Yeah,
than
rock,
than it is that he survives.
it's rock and
Uh,
roll.
I
Beowulf was
guess
a
it was the same with Grendel, wasn't it? He insisted on not not doing
yeah,
it with a weapon.
because no weapon would hurt him. Yeah, and Sam mentioned Oglak has one of those words that has contested meanings. That is very true, as I recall. I
Oh,
think enemy is sort of the closest thing to a compromise meaning that people tend to agree on.
mhm.
Something to do with Og, fear. All right, and then I can finish it from there. Yefeng thought beexla nalas forfechte mern, guth yet leod grinless modor. Brad tha bead wa herd tha he je bolgen was. Feoch je nidlan that heo on flets je beach. Heo him eft grade andlean for yeeld, grimman grapum on him to jeanas fang. Overwerp Thor wery mode we in a strengest faith kempa that he on filawerth. Offset for thona selliust on tira seaxiteach brad on brun edge. Wolde hira bairn rekan angan eilran. Him on exlalei brelsnet broden. That je berg feure with ord and with edge ingang forstod. Hävde þá forsíðod sunu edge was under jynne grund, geta tjampa, nämna hem heodoburna helpe je fremmede, herrenet herde, ond halligod, je weld wisegor witi drichten, rodera redend, hit on richt je shade, udriche, sidan he eft astod. All right. Then he grabbed by the shoulder. Not at all. He shrank from that violent deed. The man of the battle, Yutar, he grabbed Grendel's mother. He moved swiftly then. The hard battle moved hard then in the battle when he was enraged at his deadly foe that she fell on the floor. She, is that right? Fletjeberg kneeled on the floor.
Oh yeah, I think I'm just wondering if it's she fell on the floor because because he was enraged or something, rather than because I'm trying to work out because initially when I read it I was like, did she he was enraged that she fell on the floor or but
I don't think so, because he grabs her by the shoulder. The hardest thing to put into context is this, right? Like moved quickly, then battle hard. I guess it could actually it could be that the hard battle moved quickly then when he was in rage with his deadly foe.
Mhm.
That she on the I don't know why it's I don't know what this is doing, I guess.
I
But
guess yeah, I think I'm making a thing of nothing. I think it's yeah. So
welcome to
he's
philology.
angry. They have a battle. She falls on the floor. Yeah.
Um, He paid him a reward, paid back to him a reward swiftly with grim grips and grabbed against him, threw him over, or he fell over then, weary, tired, and spirit, that strongest of fighters, that infantry fighter, that he he had a fall. Hey, where on Fidua? Shh. The hall hall ghost sat upon him then and drew her knife, broad and brown edged. She wanted to avenge her son, her only heir. She lay on his shoulder. Oh no, the woven breast net, chest net, the chainmail lay on his shoulder. That saved his life against point and edge, withstood the stab. The son of Ecgtheow would have perished under that spacious ground, that champion of the Yitzhar, unless that battle shirt had given him help, that hard war net and holy God. Wise God rules victory in battle, the ruler of the skies. He decided it right and easily. And afterwards, he stood up. And I think the afterwards he stood up is Beowulf.
Yeah.
I don't think God stood up. Yeah.
No. I
Okay.
like how when you're translating like Yat, you pronounce it in Old Norse.
Uh, well, it's actually
Like,
the Swedish
old
pronunciation
Swedish.
because
Okay.
that's a region of Sweden,
Mhm.
right? I mean, that's Göteborg is the capital of that region. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Because otherwise I guess it's just some obscure, like some made up modern English word.
yeah, I've
Geek.
never really held with saying, yeets or something in English because it's like that doesn't mean anything
Yeah, yeah.
right to anyone now. But
Mhm.
Götar, well, it's a whole bunch of Swedes are Götar, and that's where Beowulf is from. So, all right. How are you feeling about your last part? I think
Um,
I thought the language of your last part was a little. I didn't get as mystified as I did at some of the parts in your first one.
no, I think the first one, I feel like I didn't have as much trouble with the second part in terms of like having to go to Bosworth Toller all the time. Do you mind if I take 2 minutes
Oh, go ahead.
and then I
I'll
shall return?
pause. I'll turn recording back on.
Thank you both for saying so. So we're on year south.
Well, I mean, what's the point of doing it if you're just miserable doing it?
Yeah, that's true. Likewise for you, obviously, if there's ever, I realize it's, um, yeah,
Well, it's not as late here.
well,
Uh,
right. So, um, Jesar thar on Sarwon, sia audi bil, ald swerd eltenish, edjum thyti, wiena worthmund, that was wapna kyst, I think kyst, Bhutan hit was mare thonne ani mon oder to boude lake at beran marte god and jatolich giganta je welk he je feng tha fettelhild freka skildinga reel and heurogrim ringmaal je breid aldres orwena Irringa sloch that here with Halse. Sorry, I just looked at the chat for a second and lost where I was. With Halse, Hard Grabode, Ban Ringas Brak, Bill Al Thurward, Fine Flash Homan, Hell on Fletje Krong, Swerd was Swati, Sedge welke je fech, likste se leuma, leucht in nestod, evne swalf hevene, hardreshineth, rodores condel, he after wretched lot, hwarf thabi walle, wapen hovenade, hard behiltum, hielakes thein, irre and anrad, nasseo edge frakod, hilderinche, ac he rhade wolde, grendle for Gildan, Guth rasa fella, thareth he je worchte, to westenum, oftor mitchle, thonne on anne seath, thonne he Hrothgares heurthienatas, sloch on swevote, slapen de frat, folkes deniga, 15 men. I guess yeah. So your Southar on Sauron saw, I guess he saw then among the equipment,
That's the
the,
word that's part of Saruman, right? Saruman is like
oh, I didn't know
machine
that.
man or cunning man or something. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I need to look more into Tolkien's. I never, I don't know why, but I've still never really engaged much with Lord of the Rings, but it'd be interesting to look into his, um,
I think it's
yeah.
shocking that in the last 3 years since we last talked about this, I did a read through of Lord of the Rings and you didn't. Like
Yeah.
it makes slightly more sense on your channel actually, but uh,
Mhm.
but I did it. Um,
Oh yeah, I haven't got through. I'm not up to date with it yet. Although me and my partner watched the first few. Um, but yeah, um, so he saw then among the equipment the victory blessed bill, which I guess it's sword. But then is it like I'm thinking of like a bill hook, but I don't know if that was ever like a weapon of war. But it
I
probably
don't
just means
know.
sword, right?
I actually don't know what the
Um,
etymology of billhook is, but this poet uses bill all the time to mean sword.
yeah, yeah, it must, yeah, yeah. I guess he uses it so much he can't possibly be talking about some kind of like war builder. Um, but yeah, old sword, Eltonish. Whenever I see the word Elton, I think of like the giant word like Jotun. But is it
But-
like a cultural group? I think maybe as well.
well, this is definitely the same word, Eotun and Old Norse Jotun. I mean, it's the enemies of the gods,
Mm.
um, which I don't like to
But I
translate
was
giant. There's also some people I know have uh, speculated that mentions like this are not Jotuns, but rather Utes, people from
that's what I
Yilan.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
I think that would just be Eotish rather than Eotenish.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. So Eltonish, uh, giantish, if for want of a better word than giant.
Well, it does say
Um,
giant later.
it does actually, yeah, it does actually say giant, gigant. Um, so old Outenish sword with strong edges, um, and like an honor of warriors. Um, that was a desirable weapon or like a choice weapon,
Hmm. Choice one of weapons or something. Yeah.
but it was more than any other man could carry to battle play, because I guess lark is like laker in Old Norse, right?
Hmm. And it
Like
is
play.
in poetry, it actually is fairly often used of battle,
Mm.
just like here. Yeah.
So it was more than any other man could carry to battle play. Good and ready. Gigantar, your Welk, giant's work. So yeah, I guess Gigant here is referring to the same thing as Elpin. So yeah, maybe this is evidence that they were giants. No. Um,
Yeah.
maybe this is the one only piece of evidence everyone's been going with. Um,
Well, I guess I've said over the years, like, okay, bigger than us, yeah, sure, maybe because the gods probably are too, but they're not bigger than the gods.
yeah,
My
yeah,
my my problem with the term is that it makes people think like gods,
they're
Yotze,
separate.
but they're the
Yeah.
same size because they marry each other.
Mhm.
So
Like the same species.
yeah, they're the same species, they're just different families.
Mhm.
And,
Um, so work of giants. He grabbed the uh, belt hilt, or
like
like I guess banded hilt, maybe.
it's almost like fetter, right? Isn't it that same root? Like so, like it's he uses a lot of weird expressions for swords that imply some material culture stuff that I just don't understand, right? Like there's all this stuff about, the ring sword and the locked sword here, if that's what that is, the linked sword,
Mhm.
maybe. This,
There's a lot of like motifs and etching engravings, or I don't know. Like the thing
yeah.
about animals, I know that's the thing in a lot of metal work, isn't it? Like pigs' balls and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but then all
So
this stuff about wound.
yeah, it must just be different decorative elements. I mean, because if you have a really nice sword, it's going to be decorated with, I mean, just based on stuff that I've seen from Sudden Who, like with garnets and things like that, maybe, right?
Yeah. Um, so he grabbed then this ring hilt, belt hilt, um, the warrior of the Scyldings, uh, meaning Beowulf, presumably, rough and battle grim, drew the ring marked one, um, without hope of life or like expectation that he would survive.
And
Um,
that really struck me when I saw it because in modern Icelandic, that exact word, urfæna, is depression.
oh, really?
So this compound actually goes way back. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Um, he angrily attacked, or like vision, yeah, angrily attacked, so that um, against her neck, hard, like touched, like contacted,
Mm.
um, broke bone rings. um, the bill completely went through.
Mhm.
Um, the doomed, like flesh skin. I think I had a bit of difficulty with Hormon, but I think that I found so it might have been in Slade's notes. There might
Well,
be
it's just the body, right? It's the flesh body, flesh homo.
okay, okay. So flesh body. She crunge on the on the ground. She like died on the ground, or you know, yeah, perished on the ground or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, the sword was bloody. The warrior was glad or like rejoiced in his work.
Hmm.
Um, the light flashed, like glinted, I guess. Um, light stood within, um, even even as from heaven, or maybe like the same as from heaven on a level with like heaven.
Hmm.
Um, the heavens candle shines clearly. Oh, I guess there's two different words for heaven here, but
Rudderous and yeah.
yeah. So even so, like the light stood within, the same as how the heavens candle shines clearly from heaven,
So it's
from
like
the sky.
sunlight. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Sam asked about that bone rings thing, whether that means vertebrae. I get it must.
I assume so. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, um, yeah. Um, so turned then by the wall, grasped the weapon, um, strong by hilts, strong with hilts. Um, Heorlach's Thane, angry and like unrad, like prepared, well, like focused, I guess. Um,
it's one counseled, right? So
like
like res
single-minded, maybe.
yeah,
Or
resolute, maybe that kind of sense, not swaying from his
yeah.
purpose.
Um, that blade wasn't useless to the battle man. Um, Ock again, a slightly weird use of this. So it could be like, and he quickly wanted to repay Grendel um, for many like ambushes, which Grendel had wrought on the West Danes, far more often um, than on just one occasion. Um, when he slew Hrothgar's um, hearth friends in their sleep. Where are we? Eight in their sleep. Ate them in their sleep. Um, and I guess we can maybe scroll down here. Um,
I was I was gonna say you've probably read this, heard this somewhere, but you've said a few times you've been surprised at Ak.
yeah, is this an obvious thing I've missed?
I don't know if it's obvious, but they often use it as and after a negative.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So I guess semantically what that's doing for speakers is flagging like this next clause isn't controlled by the negative. Like
That makes
conjunction plus cancel negative, I think is kind of what it's doing for speakers.
yeah, because I guess with so many negatives stacked on top of each other so readily, um, you can't necessarily assume that the negative has finished unless
Yeah,
there's something to mark in. Yeah, that's a good point.
it's used the same way in Gothic. So,
Okay.
where do you want me to scroll to? You were
Hang on.
here-ish.
Yeah, so if after slap in the flat, so right near the top, yeah, that's
Oh
or
yeah,
if
yeah,
you yeah,
like there.
yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect. Yeah, thank you. So slår on Sweawater, slap in the flat, folkes deniga, fif tyne men, and other swilch, ut offerede, lath liku lak, he him fast laun for yald, rede kempa, to faste he on raste jesach, guth werine, Grendel lijan, aldor lausne, swa him jesod, hild at heurote, fra vide sprung, sythan he after dawde, drepe throade, Heurosweng haurne, and Hinethar havde becharf, Sone that je sawon, snotre cheurlas, themid Hrothgar on holm liton, that was je blond, alje menged, brimblode far, blonden faxe, gomele imb godne, on jadur sprakon, that he thas adelingas eft ne wendon, that he se redi, sejan, sechan come. Marne theuden, thas monie je warth, that hina sel Brimwulf abroten havde, tha kom non dies, nas of javon, what shillingas je wat him harm thonon, goldwine gumena, Jistas Satan, modes seoke, and on meres staridon, wisdom on ne wendon, that hiu heura winedrichten selvne jesavon. Tha that swelled on gan after haudoswate hilde jichelum. And then, yeah, I guess that's the end of that. So we were just after Slab and Ifrat. So Slab and Ifrat ate in their sleep 15 men of the Danish people, of the people of the Danes, and other such, like other things like that, he made off with, he had off with. So 15 men of the Danes and also other things he had made off with in his ambushes. A loathsome undertaking. He paid him the reward for that. So Beowulf paid him the reward for that. The just warrior. To which he saw war-weary Grendel lying in rest, lifeless, Oldorlausne, as I guess Beowulf previously like scathed him at Hild at Helrot, battle at Helrot.
Yeah, I wonder if that Hild is in the battle, right? If that's like a dative.
Yeah.
Or as the fight at Herat had injured him, right?
Oh yeah.
Looks like in
Yeah,
other cases it should be Hildas. That probably is nominative. So if
yeah,
the
I think
battle
you're
had
right.
injured him. Yeah.
Swa Hild at Helrot him Yeshord. And then this aside, Hrawi sprung, corpse sprung wide, like burst wide.
Yeah.
When it suffered a strike after death, a hard sword stroke, and then head severed. So like, and then severed him, his head, severed his.
Yeah, cut the head from him. Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly, uh, wise men suddenly wise men um, suddenly wise men saw
Mm,
that with Hrothgar looked at the sea.
mm.
Um, that was wave seething, like waves stirring. Um, there's that blonde word again. Um, all sort of mixed up, churned up. Sea, the sea decorated with blood, or like laced with blood. Um, with mixed hair. I think Slade agrees with hair.
And
Uh,
and so the idea being apparently like salt and pepper, right? Like guys who are they're aging, so they have like partly gray hair.
okay. Salt and pepper. Um, the old one, uh, about the good ones. Um, the old the old man amongst the good men, I guess. Um, or and yeah, I guess like the old man and the good men spoke amongst each other, spoke amongst themselves together. Um, that they didn't hope or didn't expect the noble one back. Like they didn't expect Beowulf to come back.
Yeah, I think like the senatorial haired old men spoke together about a good man because Godna can only be
Oh,
accusative singular.
oh, okay.
And verbs of hoping and expecting often take a genitive object. So I think that's why you've got that fast adverling is that they did not expect the nobleman back.
Okay.
I think that's what's happening there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right with Gordon. Yeah. So the old one spoke about the old ones together spoke about the good one that they didn't expect that noble one back, kind of thing.
I think that's how I take it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, sorry, there's a fruit fly has the first fruit fly of the year has come into the room.
Oh man,
Um,
story of my life. We have so many of them in this place.
so Fathir Siehedi, that he victory triumphant um, s- to seek
Or
would
visit,
like
right? Visit, it's often visit and old
okay,
language, yeah.
so come to visit the great ruler. Oh, so they didn't expect him to come back triumphant to visit. Yeah, okay.
Because I think they're watching all the blood that just came up from Grendel
Yeah,
and maybe from Grendel's mom, and it's like, oh, that Beowulf is toast. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, so they weren't expecting him back. Um, then to many agreed that the sea wolf had killed him. Um, then came the ninth hour of the day, and I hadn't come across this Norn thing before. Um, is that noon? I
It is
guess.
in a medieval context, it's not noon. It's uh more like mid-afternoon
Okay.
because the calendar starts at what we would call 6 our calendar. The clock starts at what we would call 6 a.m.
I
So plus
see. Okay.
9. So it's 1500 or so. In a medieval context, that's what that should mean. That's what it would mean in Old Norse.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's from Latin nones, right? The ninth hour.
Right.
Yeah, this says same thing. Yeah.
So then the day's ninth hour came. Um, they abandoned the peninsulas or the peninsula. Um, the brave Scyldings um, departed thence home. Um, gold, gold friend of men. Uh, I guess Yawat him, like departed from him.
I
Thence
think it
home.
may just be a cognate dative where it's just he departed him. He got himself out of there.
Okay.
Because like what I'm reading in these lines is the Danes just say he's
Right.
dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
And so not only the Danes but even Hrothgar leave.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So gold friend of men, which
So
I guess means
that's him, right? That's Hrothgar, right? The gold friend.
yeah, yeah. I think you're right. So
I mean,
gold friend of
you call me that, but for a different
that's true. Um, guests met or sought. Um, um, sick of mind, sick of heart, and stared into the sea. Um, like thought but didn't expect, thought but didn't really hope that that they would see their friend Lord.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's exactly right. Thought and didn't expect.
mhm.
Yeah. And so the guests, that's the Yutta, right?
I think, yeah, I
And
think so.
then Satan, I think it's just they sat, right?
Um,
Because it's usually spelled with an ash, right? Yeah, this Claber's taking that as sit too, but that spelling with E is a little unusual, right?
hang
That's
on,
honestly that looks like Gothic or something, right? But
data. Yeah. What have I got for that? Because I think I had to look into
oh, the manuscript says Secan, so different people do different things. Interesting.
maybe. Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to line it up with my notes. So it's Satan in yours.
Yeah.
Gista Satan. Yeah, I've got Sekan.
Okay, that is actually in the
Oh yeah,
manuscript. So
sword.
yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, yeah.
I did not memorize all the manuscript orthography.
Well, I don't believe you. I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you've been cheating by memorizing the manuscript.
I spend 15 hours on it a day, yeah. Just to just to try to show you up at Beowulf, yeah.
Oh, you don't have to go to that much effort to show me up a Beowulf. Um,
Just not a lot of showing up going on here.
no, no, no. No, not that I think you would show me up, but I think you could in principle show me up. Um, so
Philological flexes. The
it's
the dative is that way.
I dare not do that with my scrawny chicken arms.
Then you need
Um,
to pomp your grammas.
there must be some like oh, my friend was telling me about like Gen Alpha things. What was it? like I don't need to talk about this on a Beowulf video, but just like people going up to each other and like trying to out. I think it's called mogging, where
Yeah,
people like stand some guy will stand next to a less attractive guy just to show him up and just like square up to I don't know. I don't fucking know.
it's so absurd.
This has
Like
gone down a weird path.
it's a strange culture, but you and I, we're not going to mog because we're philology pilled, right?
Well, that's true.
We're
We're
gram
philology maxing.
we're grammar maxing.
We're grammar maxing. Um, where actually are we?
Okay, we're
Silvermere
way at the bottom of that. So let's actually just
we may as
scroll up
well
here.
push on, yeah.
Okay, thought that sweared on God, and then you didn't read much past that.
Yeah. So Thar that swelled on Ran after Howler Swarte Hilde Gichelum we bil Wanion that was wundrasum that hit al jemalt Ise jelikost sonne forstes bend fader on lateth on windeth walrapas sethe je wald havath sala on mala that is soth method nenom hen tham weekum wederjata leod Maðum after ma thech sorry thech thar moni jesach búton sonne hafvilan. My sight reading Old English is the first thing to go when I get tired. I apologize for all this stopping and starting.
Okay.
On Thahilt Somod Sintje Fage Swerd je malt for barn brood en mal was that blood to thas heart ätren ellor gast se thar inne swalt sone was on sunde se är att sacke je bad we rure radra water upp surdauf waron blond alje falsod aukne ardas thase ellorgast of late liefdagas an thas lanon je shaft kom thar lande lidman na helm Sweetmord swimman sala salake lache je fauch Mayen byrðene þarathe him mid havde elden him thar Jánis gode thankodon Thríðlich þeina halp theodnes je feon thasta hine je sundne je seon moston thar was of tham Hroran helm and byrne lungre a lysed lahu drúsade. Let me just see. Just trying to work out where. There we are. Okay. So we're nearish the. I was just trying to work out where I am in my document.
You have one more reading after this, probably
One more reading.
on the screen. Yeah.
Half had swelled on gone. Two more fits after this. I'm written.
I was going to say, whoa. Did we agree on that?
So then that sword began after battle blood or battle sweat in battle icicles
Yeah.
to wane, like shrink. Um,
Is battle icicles blood drops?
I couldn't make head or tail of it, but I guess so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess so. Um, to shrink the war bill, to wane the war bill. That was some wonder. Um, then, or that it all melted, very much like ice, like similar to ice, when, or ve very much like how ice does when father, which I guess means God.
Yeah.
Um,
This is such a weird place to shove a reference to God.
yeah, I know. I'm just calling him father. Um, so like in the same way that ice does when God relaxes Frost's bond, unwinds uh like is this death ropes or dead people ropes? Or is it like
It does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
yeah,
What else would wow mean?
I
Uh,
think I found one that was like pond or something.
oh
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
guess that could make sense.
it is
Um,
deep pool or stream.
because does it give it a long vowel in your manuscript? I guess it would.
This edition does make it long, yeah. Um,
Um, which
oh,
yeah, maybe like pond ropes. Um,
pond roads. It's weirdly phrased, and it's a weird place to shove a
a
Christian
god.
message into, yeah.
Maybe that's why it's weirdly phrased. Maybe it was an afterthought.
I don't know.
Um,
Because
but
he's clearly talking about ice melting.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So God who has strength, um, like control of times and of occasions. Um, that is the true creator. I love that little detour where it's just like almost like a Bible it just melts into a Bible passage and then just starts talking about
For no reason, right? I mean,
for no reason.
because it's not even about what's happening on stage, as it were. It's a
It's
reference
just a
to
really ham-fisted comparison.
it's
Like,
yeah,
well, not yeah,
that one got a mild chuckle out of me when I first saw that. Like, why why this digression? Why now? Because you're in the middle of the action here, right?
yeah,
Just it's weird. Like, okay, God spared him in the fight. Like, okay, I get why you're shoving it in there, but I don't get it here.
yeah. I'm just imagining the guy performing it or like doing the oral tradition, just continuing with the same like kind of tone of voice as he's describing the battle, and then he uses the exact same tone of voice to do the god stuff, and then I don't know.
It's a commercial break.
Yeah. Um, so um, he did not take into those like dwelling places the Wedder Geats. I'm going to use Geats. What is it? Jutta?
Jottar in Swedish, Gautar in Old Norse. And this is so the Wedder is like the ram, right? Isn't that a 1-year-old ram? So it's like,
I think so. Yeah, with isn't it a wither in English or something?
yeah, wither. So he's a ram Swede.
Hmm. Um, so he didn't take into that dwelling place or those dwelling places more treasures. The whether Geats man, although he saw many there.
Yeah, I don't think he took many. It's not that he didn't take them into there. He didn't take any of the ones that were in there, right? He didn't.
Oh, okay.
He's seeing
Yeah,
other treasures in this underwater place, and but he's not
he
taking
didn't.
the other ones.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Um, but the head and also the hilt, um, decorated with treasure. Um, the sword had already melted, I guess, like
Yeah.
the blades melted. But he's taking what's left. Um, burnt the braided, marked thing.
Mm.
Um, the braided marked one. Um,
The sword. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Was that blood um, hot to 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 this to that?
Yeah, I
Um,
thought maybe the object is just left out. I mean, look, when you're Old Norse pilled, you see a you see a preposition to followed by a genitive, and you think, oh yeah, to this, because to takes a genitive in Old Norse. But I know it doesn't in Old English. So
no,
I was like, maybe the object is just left out. So the blood was
mm,
to it so hot, fast hot, like thus hot,
yeah,
that it burned it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that explains why it melted. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Um, the poisonous foreign goat, foreign spirit, alien spirit, um, who died there inside. Um, quickly, soon he was in the water. The one who had just survived an attack. The one who had just survived um, the attack. So Beowulf is in the water. Um, the cruel ones fall in battle. Um, so Beowulf dove up through the water. Um, the churning of the waves, the Either blonde, was all calmed, um, or I think Slade has like cleared, but I guess it would be calmed if the fighting has stopped. Um,
Or
the
cleaned
cleaned, cleansed.
because the blood is no longer flowing, maybe.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think isn't there an adjective that's like phala that's clean or something like that?
I have yeah, I've written that as a note, like cleansed. Um, the powerful places where the alien ghosts that departed, well, yeah, like foreign ghosts, forlet their life days, lost, you know, forwent their life days. And this, like, loaned world, lent world,
Yeah. Isn't that in The Wanderer too? The Wanderer bemoans that Leaf is
uh,
Lana.
yeah, like it's lent to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that as a as a bit of what would you call it? Not rhetoric. Yeah, I like that as an expression.
I'm fond of it
Um,
too. And I mean, it came up earlier, also.
yeah. So,
And and there's been some discussion in the chat about the acid blood. And as Matt points out, dragons uh,
mm,
often have poisonous spray, poisonous blood. So probably a similar conceit. Like, I mean, you see it in Volsunga Saga, right? The dragon has poison blood.
yeah, that makes sense. Where are we? Cornthal. So he came then to land. I've got it like crown of the seafarers, like
Hmm.
as maybe as like a metaphor of the shining gem of the. Although I'm not sure.
Although we've seen helm just mean leader too, but I kind of like that as
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
crown of the seafarers. Yeah.
No, that's. I think it maybe it's simpler than what I was thinking. Um, Swimming, strong-minded, um, rejoiced in the sea battle. Um, uh, the great burden which he had with him, because I guess he's taken the head as well, hasn't he?
Hmm. And we hear later that it's very heavy.
Yes. Oh yeah, doesn't it take like it takes 4 men, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, they went towards him then, thanked God, the mighty group of Thanes celebrated their Lord, uh, that they could see him healthy, see him like sound.
Mm.
Um, and then like, yeah, so then the helm and the sort of, I guess a byrne is like a sort of, is it like a vest, like an armor vest?
It's your
Uh,
chainmail jacket. Yeah.
right. Um, so the helm and sort of chainmail of the nimble man was, or the nimble one was quickly loosened.
Which
And
is
then
a
I
fun
think,
reminder. He's been swimming in chainmail.
yeah, that's true.
Right.
Um,
The end is within sight.
it's within sight. So lahu, right. Lahu drúsade, water under wolknum, waldreure far, ferdon forth thonon, fede lastum, ferthum fine, foldway maton, kude strate, Kynningbalde men from tham Holmklive, Haviland Baron, Arvodlice, Heura I Hwadrum, Fella Modiva, Fewer Sholdon on tham Stenge, Welcome je Ferian, to tham Goldcelle, Grendles Havod, of that Semninga, to Selekomon, from a fyrt Hwate, Fewer Tine, Jauta Gungan, Gumdrychten mid, Modion Yemonge, Meldowongas trad, Tharkom in Garn, Aldor Thena, Dad Kenemon, Dome Jewurvad, Halle Hildedeur, Hrothgar Gretan, Thawas Faxe on Fletboren, Grendles Havod, Thar Koman, Thar Guman Drunkon, Ejeslich for Eurlum, an thare idese mid, lite seon, ratlich, whereas on Savon. So, I love drusade. So the sea sort of sank or like leveled.
Hmm.
Water under clouds, decorated with like death gore, like death blood, well drilled. Um, they then went forth like thence on footpaths, happy for their lives, I guess. Like
Or in
maybe
their,
like
or just in their minds.
yeah, okay.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So happy in their minds. Um, traveled the like Earth way, the land's way, kind of thing. Um, familiar streets, king bold men, like bold like a king kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, I
Um,
suppose that's something a lot of different editors have different versions of. But it
like
looks
it's
like
not clear in the manuscript.
no, it looks like that is in the manuscript, but some people have apparently disliked it and changed it. So
Hmm.
I don't
I
know. It
don't
works
feel
for
like it's
me.
very
It's
straightforward. Yeah,
like that's the weirdest thing in this text.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't describe it as that
Like
surprising.
king bold, yeah, like bold like a king, like you said, or bold in the presence of their king, whatever. All that makes sense to me.
So, king bold men from the sea cliff, uh, bore the head, bore the head árvadliche, like arduously, you know, um, like great spirited to all of them, for all of them. Um,
Is it
yeah, see.
difficult for each of them?
Oh, maybe, yeah, like difficult for all of them. Yeah. Um, and then I guess there's this aside of four of them had to, with great difficulty, carry Grendel's head to the Gold Hall on the pole of the dead, the wild uh, sting.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting that you're taking it that way as the Deadpool. I hadn't thought about it that way. I wondered, I didn't actually look this up, but I wondered if that was actually the pole word, like it's just pole, because
oh, okay.
in Old Norse, volar is a like a stick, a wand. So the
Right.
Volva, the witch, is the one she has her wand.
Oh, oh,
Uh,
it could be, yeah, because
Claver's also taking it that way.
like
Mm.
the wand way, the pole way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Metrically, that could be short or long. Uh, so I guess it's not definitive, but
Mhm.
yeah, okay. Either way, if it's the dead pole, that's kind of rad. Uh,
But yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Well, I must have seen it. You must have mentioned it in a video at some point, but
oh, I don't know. Like I
I don't
remember everything
remember.
I've ever said in a video.
I sometimes have ideas for videos and then discover that I've already done them.
That happens to me all the time. And I used to decide I'm not going to do it, and now I decide, yeah, I'll just do it because if I forgot, everybody else forgot.
It's yeah. Um, Welcome Yeferian. So like ferry it, like carry it with difficulty to the gold or Grendel's head. Yeah. Until what's that? Until suddenly, or yeah, until then, at that point, until at some point they came to the hall, um, firm, war bold, 14 of the Geats of the Utah, walking with the Lord of Men, proud in the sort of company, trod the mead plain, which I had to Slade reckons it's just like Mead Hall plain. Um,
Okay.
seems
So that's
doesn't
another
seem
place where it's like I think you could take this one of two ways. I took it as just like I took that other word as basically pole. I take this as meadows.
like meadow. Yeah, I hadn't thought about meadow. Yeah, I feel like that makes more sense. Yeah,
Because I don't know what a mead plain is. I mean, I guess it could be where you've got honey produced, where you've got like beehives.
yeah. I didn't know what to do with it, so I think it was Slade that said just interpreted it as like the plain that was next to the Mead Hall kind of thing. But I feel like maybe it's a bit of a stretch because it probably is just meadow, isn't it? I hadn't.
Sounds a little stretchy to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
although Clapper takes it that way too. So okay, but I just thought, why not meadow? Because that's
I
that's Old
feel like
English, right?
it's Meldul. I can't remember actually. Hang on, let me see. Does Bosworth Toll have anything to say? Um,
Because I submit to you, if English meadow is not from a word like that, from what is English meadow?
yeah, it must it must be Meadow, mustn't it?
Um, looks like it might be mad, M-A-S-H-D in Old English meadow.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit of a stretch. I can't think of any dialectal thing that would result in that correspondence.
hmm.
Um, maybe that's I don't know. Well,
Well, you win some, you lose some. I don't know.
yeah.
I look skeptic. I look just slightly skeptically because of the semantics at Mead Meadow. Because what the heck? Like, I, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it could be like a wildflower meadow where the bees all go for the I don't know,
Yeah,
but
that's the closest I can think is that yeah, it's where your bees are pastured if you pasture bees.
Mhm.
Um, anyway,
Um, and then came in walking um, the Lord of the Thanes, or then the Lord of the Thanes came in walking um, the deed keen man, the like deed bold man,
hmm.
um, like emboldened in triumph, war brave hero. Two, he comes in to greet Hrothgar. Um, then is it the hare? Falcons? Oh, it's hare, isn't it?
Hmm.
So then Grendel's head was placed on the floor by his hair, which implies Grendel, a physical characteristic of Grendel, um, where men drank, um, and this was awful for the earls, or like I guess just a horror,
Hmm.
and also the women with them. A wonderful sight, a beautiful sight. Um, the men looked on, stared at it.
I guess the only things I'd quibble with at the end there is it's that singular woman, right? Thera Edis.
Oh
That's
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
that dative singular? So that woman with
He
them,
does. It
which I
probably is.
guess
Yeah.
is
What's her name?
she's not mentioned that awfully much, but Hrothgar's queen. Um,
Yeah,
and then like it can't be a beautiful sight, right? Like that's got to be like just
impressive.
impressive. Yeah, impressive sounds better to me. Beautiful sight, I think. Not in the same breath as Aeslage.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
well, you made it.
Success. I wonder if we timed, I wonder how much longer on average my my
Oh, who cares?
chugging
It's
through chugging through it would be. But yeah.
yeah. I'm not worried about it. I appreciate I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate you taking the time. I like to me,
Oh,
it's
ditto.
interesting just to come back and dive into it and not really have an excuse to just blow past it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I've read Beowulf before, and like if I'm just reading it on my own, I can come to something and say, "What is that?" And just sort of like, who cares? I can
yeah.
just pass it over. But when I have to explain it to somebody,
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. It's good. It's good for the soul, and it is fun.
soul.
The Maud
Well, you're not
drama.
soulless like Ashera, as they
Not yet.
as they carry his body to the moor.
Mhm.
Um, any concluding thoughts?
Um, no, I suppose not really. I think the one thing I didn't do this time was try to read ahead to see if there was any interesting kind of dialect stuff, because I know in places there's weird forays into what seem to be different dialects.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, maybe next time I'll have something a bit more prepared, but I can't think of anything we haven't covered really.
Do you know if there's a difference between the two scribes?
I'm not sure.
Because at some point it's another person's hand, right?
He seems to be a different person, yeah.
So I wondered if maybe one seemed dialectically different from the other or something.
I'm not sure if it's along those lines, but I can look into it. I
The
feel like, sorry, go on.
correct me if I'm wrong, the main theory is that it was actually composed in a more northern dialect, and these are southern scribes, so that they're
It,
kind of not always sublimating the northern features, but they're sometimes sublimating the northern features.
I think it might be something like that, like it was some Anglian dialect or something initially. Um, I'd have to double check, but yeah, yeah. I think it's something like that.
And there's been some important work in the last few years, if I'm not wrong about this. I'm not the most up on Old English stuff, but I seem to recall in the last few years there's been some pretty important work on dating Old English poetry along similar lines to what I followed with dating Old Norse poetry, and that people are getting a little more confident that Beowulf is actually pretty old.
Hmm.
I know this thing goes back and forth and has forever on exactly how old it is, but my impression is that objective linguistic grading has suggested that it's pretty old, like, more along 800s than 1000s, but I
Hmm.
haven't followed that super closely because, Old English is
Is
not my.
that in terms of composition or in terms of the literal text being written?
No, the composition.
Composition, yeah.
Um, I mean, I take an interest in Old English, but it's not my number one thing, right? I feel like uh, I don't know. There's so many other places people can go for Old English stuff, so I've tried to cover, Old Norse. And when I go into other Germanic languages, it's like Gothic, where there's just not that much stuff out there for people. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, your Gothic videos have been a lifesaver
oh,
because
really?
I suppose not in the sense that I have a paper I need to write, but just in the sense that I get, I don't know, I guess it's just you have to have a teacher that's kind of accessible. I don't know. And when I'm pouring through books and stuff, it's just difficult for it to go in. Whereas I don't know if it's I don't know,
Well, part of that is because none of the books about Gothic assume that you are like,
like a beginner.
yeah, exactly. They all kind of assume, for one thing, I would say really all the classic texts assume that you've read the Bible a million times and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and at least a dozen times in Greek. So, like, um, but yeah, Gothic is so syntactically weird sometimes with all the clitics and stuff.
Mhm.
I've actually been thinking about making like some videos about Gothic clitics for the five people, maybe present company included, that are
I'd
interested in
watch that.
that. And I mean, Old English shows some interesting fossils, right? We just saw today, yay. That is
Mhm.
the oldest conjunction in Germanic. You don't ever see that in Old Norse. Um,
Do you know what it
Also,
would be? Oh, sorry,
there's
go
a couple places in Old English where man is a weak noun. Um,
on.
I don't know that I've run into it naturally, but I know it gets mentioned. Uh, Seen it in dictionaries that, mana as a weak noun shows up, and it is weak in Gothic. So that's kind of interesting.
Mm.
Okay, well, we've rambled enough, and you should take a rest, and I'll rest my voice.
Sorry that I got slow towards the end there.
Oh, it's all
Um,
right. I'm always slow. I
I-
got to finish moving this week, so
oh, I see. Is it a far move?
no, it's not far, but
Just a pain shifting all the
it's
stuff?
got to move everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I would love to like not move for 6 months, but that has been a pipe dream thus far. Um, maybe this one will last. We'll see. Maybe this will stick.
I
Um,
cross my fingers for
Thank
such
you.
a success.
Yeah, Sam says the wall looks wrong without the hats. We'll see if I
Yeah.
can recreate that in the next place.
Mhm.
Oh, this is not a duck. This is a loon.
Oh yeah, I saw this. I like a I like a loon. I'm not sh Wasn't there like a load of some conniption recently because like some Robert Eggers film had like a loon in the background when it was set in Slovakia or some
Oh,
something
I don't
like
know.
that.
I don't
I think
know.
I can't
I
remember.
thought I thought this was really, really nicely done. Um, because it's been harder to get, and here's a coyote. It's been harder to get out to film just because when I'm not making stuff for work, we're working on moving. So I thought, oh, I'll get props and I'll do a few videos that just have props instead of a cool background. And then I thought I would use these as prizes for my next talk at the meat place, which I do every month.
Well, I couldn't tell that you weren't out in the mountains with those guys behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it made
I
made it
wasn't
seem really wild. Yeah. Good.
right. I may have to slip off into the realm of slumber now,
All right.
but
Go to Swalevot or whatever it was that
but
Grendel ate the guys in. Sir, excellent to see you again. Hope to see you again
very good.
soon.
Yeah.
We're reading Fitz 24 to 28 tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, shit. I thought you were serious for a second there. I was like, oh God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 6 a.m.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about when we can maybe do this again. It's definitely a time commitment to make it through that much Beowulf.
It's true. Yeah. Worth it though.
Yeah.
Right. I'll see you very soon. And thank you everyone in the chat for coming along.
Yeah. Thank you, Patreon.
Um,
All the best, everybody.